This will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
अद्य शुक्रवासरः अथवा गुरुवासरः आषाढ शुद्ध अष्टमी दिनांक 20 जुलाई 2018 चिकित्सा स्थान अध्याय 26 सूत्र 39 ते 41 शंखं चक्रं जलौकान् ददतमृतघटं चारुदोर्भिश्चतुर्भिः सूक्ष्मस्वच्छातिरुद्यां शुकपरिविलसन् मौलिमम्भोरनेत्रं कालाम्भोदोज्ज्वलाङ्गं कटितटविलसच्चारुपीताम्बराढ्यं वन्दे धन्वन्तरिन्दं निखिलगदवनप्रौढदावाग्निलीनं ब्रह्मणो हि समारब्धा मात्रेयाद्येषु पूजिता मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् आयुर्वेदरतं वन्दे माधवाख्यं महापुरुषम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं शिष्येभ्यो यः प्रदत्तवान् द्रष्टाज्ञानी दुष्टकर्मा कृतकर्मा तथैव च अध्यापको विषश्रेष्ठो महान् संशोधकस्तथा चाकिङ्गलगुणैरेतैः समुदितैः यत्कार्यं प्रतनोति सः समृद्ध्यर्थं हि कार्यस्य वयं प्रयतामहे सरस्वत्यै नमो यस्याः प्रसादात् पुण्यकर्मभिः बुद्धिदर्पणसङ्क्रान्तं जगदध्यक्षमीक्षते आत्रेयं प्रथमं वन्दे आयुर्वेदजगद्गुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं गृहीत्वा हि सुरेश्वरात् अग्निवेशादिकेभ्यो यत्प्रेच्छत् मुनिसत्तमः प्रथमं तन्त्रकर्तारम् अग्निवेशं नमाम्यहम्। एषाश्वरी मारुतभिन्नमूर्तिः स्यात् शर्करा मूत्रपथात् क्षरन्ति। एषा एव अश्मरी यदा वातेन भिन्नमूर्तिः भवेत् तदा सा शर्करा कथ्यते या मूत्रपथात् क्षरन्ति दृश्यते। रेतोभिघाताभिहतस्य पुंसा प्रवर्तेते यस्य तु मूत्रपुच्छम् स्याद्वेदना वंक्षणमस्ति मेढे तस्याति शूरं वृषणातिवृत्ते। यदि शुक्रवेगावरोधः कस्यचित् पुंसः भवति चेत् तर्हि तस्य मूत्रकृच्छ्रं जायते वंक्षणबस्ति मेढे वेदना वृषणातिवृत्ते तस्य अतिशूलं च भवेत् इति। शूलं शब्दः शूलं शूलः इति एवं प्रकारेण पुल्लिङ्गी नपुंसकलिङ्गी च वर्तते संस्कृतभाषायां। कोशे तावत् शूलम् इति नपुंसकलिङ्गे अस्माभिः गृहीता अस्ति। शुक्रेण समृद्धगतिप्रवाहो मूत्रं सकुच्रेण विमुञ्चति तस्य गतिः मूत्रस्य शुक्रेण समृद्धा भवति एवं कृच्छ्रेण विमुञ्चति मूत्रं कृच्छ्रेण विमुञ्चति तमण्डयो स्तब्धमिति ब्रुवन्ति रेतोभिघातात् प्रवदन्ति कृच्छ्रम्। तस्य अण्डयो स्तब्धत्वं एषापि संज्ञा अथवा रेतोभिघातात् एतत् मूत्रकृच्छ्रं भवति इति वैद्याः कथयन्ति। एवम् एव इत्यादिना शर्कराम् आह भिन्नमूर्तिरिति अनुरूपतया भेदितमूर्तिः अत एव मूत्रपथात् क्षरन्ति इति उक्तम्। एषा तावत् सङ्कल्पना अस्माकं कृते महती उपयुक्ता। यतः तत्र यदि अश्वर्याः आकारः बृहत् स्यात् 6-7 mm पर्यन्ता अश्मरी निर्गच्छति स्वयमेव। किन्तु यदि आकृतिः ततो बृहती स्यात् तर्हि तत्र भेषजेन उपयोगः कार्यः न वा इत्याशङ्का भवेत्। किन्तु तस्य भेदः अपि भवितुमर्हति। यदा सा भेदभिन्ना भवेत् तदा शर्करारूपेण वा अथवा खण्डशः भिन्ना सा अश्मरी बहिः निष्क्रामति कित्। So when there are big ashmaris, big calculus in ureter, maybe of the size of 8 millimeter, 9 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter. Maximum I have heard is 22 millimeters. And still that could pass out. But then there should be severe pain. That is one aspect. And if it breaks, then there are chances, or if it becomes sharkara, then there are good chances that it can pass through. So ashmari bhedana, if we are able to do, then we can deal with the ashmari effectively, even when the size is big. Generally, in conventional medicine, they just emphasize on lithotripsy or some other method, which is a mechanical means. And again, there is formation of ashmari, there is pain and other things. The tendency doesn't go. But for us, this might be advantageous, and we can treat ashmaris better than conventional medicine. Shukram malashayva prutak pruthagvak mutrashayastha prativarayant. Tadvyahatam meha nabasti shulam mutram sa shukram prutai vibhajan. So shukra or mala prutak pruthagva mutrashayastha prativarayant. When they are in shukra mutrashaya, they again and again obstruct the mutra. Tadvyahatam meha nabasti shulam mutram sa shukram prutai vibhajan. And then there should be meha nabasti shula and Sashukra Mutra. And that is also Vibhatta. These are the symptoms seen. Sometimes no ashmari is seen, but symptoms are there. Then it is said as Tuni Pratituni or something like that. So, and this is due to Vata dosha. Of course, some ashmaris are seen in X-ray. So, alone X-ray is not sufficient. Better choice is sonography, ultrasonography. And if there are gaseous shadows, then also this can be. But you can say false negative or something like that. So it will all depend on the clinical picture. And anyway, in Mutra Vegavarodha, we have to consider Purisha Vegavarodha, Vata Varodha as well. So, only giving medicines for Ashmari or Mutra Purusha is not enough. We have to also see that there is Malavata Nulomana, and then only this is taken care. So, one has to do that. Shukram Mala Ityadana, Shukraja Mutra Purusha Lakshan, Mutrashayastha iti Mutra Margastitaha, Doshaha or something like that. So, they can cause this kind of avarodha of mutra or obstruction of mutra and pain. So let us move towards Gangadhar. Pruthang malasveh kupita nidanaihi sarve thava kopum petya vastu mutrasya margam paripidenti tata mutrayati pucha. So this is Sandipataja Ashmari. Sandipataja Mutra Pucha. तीव्रा हि रूपवंशन बस्ति मेठे स्वल्पं मूत्रं मुहुर्मुखयति वाता पीतं सरक्तं सरुजं सदाहं सकृच्छ्रं मुहुर्मूत्रयतीह पित्ता. So even though it is sandipatical, there are symptoms associated separately with vata pitta kapha. Vastasarindasya grutva shothau mutram sapicham kapha. So in kapha mutra kursha, these are the symptoms. Sarvani rupani cha sandipatat bhavanti tatkrucha tamancha krucha. And all these symptoms are seen in sandipatika. And that is krutratamam. एषाश्मनि मारुतभिन्नमूर्तिश्चाक्षरकरामूत्रपथात् सुश्रुते च अश्मरे चैव तुद्ये सम्भव लक्षणैरिति ततो अश्मनीजेन शर्कराजग्रहणं तद्भ्रान्त्या व्याख्यातवान् सुश्रुते हि तथा पराः शर्करया सुपष्टो मूत्रोपघातः कथितोष्टमस्तु इत्युक्तम् अन्यथा अष्टत्व व्याघातः स्यात् यापि तन्त्रे शर्कराजसहितानि एव अष्टौ पूर्यन्ते तच्च विना सप्त स्युः इति. So Ashmari is 8, Sharkara is 8, and without that there will be 7. So he tries to justify both Sushruta Vachana and Charaka Vachana. सप्तां संप्राप्ति महा प्रतंग मला इत्यादि इति चत्वारि दोषिणानि तेषां लक्षणान्यः तीव्राः इत्यादि यः वातजमूत्रकस्य शकृत्प्रतिघातस्य अवरोधः सुश्रुतेः वातप्रकोपस्तत्रोक्तः. So शकृत्प्रतिघात is also incorporated in वातजमूत्रकस्य. शकृतस्तु प्रतिघातात् वायुर्विगुणतां गतः आत्मानं च सशूनं च मूत्रसङ्गं करोति. So he has said it separately. In which Chakrut Pratihata also there is Mutra Sangha created by Vata Dosha. Pitam ityadina Pitam Mutra Kurcha Lakshanam, Bastar ityadina Kapha Mutra Kurcha Lakshanam, Sarvani ityadina Santipata Mutra Kurcha Lakshanam. Sushrute Pitam Alpam Samutpidya Mushkamehana Bastivhi Tadavhir Eva Kurchena Vata Gatena Mehati. हरितरमुष्णं रक्तं वा मुष्कमेहन बस्तिभिः अग्निना दह्यमानाभैः पित्ताघातेन मेहति स्निग्धं शुक्लं अनुष्णं च मुष्कमेहन बस्तिभिः संहृष्टरोमा गुरुश्लेष्माघातेन मेहति दाहशीतरुजाविष्टो नानावर्णं मुहुर्मुहुः ताम्यमानः सुकृच्छ्रेण सन्धिपातेन मेहति. Surprisingly, there is nowhere Jwara as one of the symptoms. Now in the UTI, which is very common today, commonly found today, there are bacilli seen in the urine, or pus cells are seen in the urine, and mutra krucha, and also pitta lakshanas, sadaha mutra or sarakta mutra, these are also seen sometimes. And these cases are generally dealt with Ayurveda effectively. But long back, I had a severe case in which anything didn't work, and I had to hospitalize her. And after about 3 bottles of saline, there was some passing of urine, and of course they were giving antibiotics through saline, and the patient got relieved then after that. So this is the only exceptional case wherein I haven't got results in UTI as such. But now this is a big issue or big question. How are we going to combat with infectious diseases? And the strength of the microorganisms is increasing day by day. This immunity is going down day by day. And these cases are becoming troublesome right now. मूत्र त्याग संबंधी तत्काल नहीं तक्रज मूत्रकृच्छ्र मूत्र उत्पत्तीचा कमी होणे मूत्र उत्पत्तीच कमी होणे तक्रज काय लिहिलं तक्रारी मूत्राघात असा जो समज आहे तो कितपत ग्रंथाला धरून आहे. Now this is the question as such. Mutra kruchra, there is passing of urine, but it's with difficulty. Mutra ghata, there is no passing of urine. And this can be due to obstruction, and this can be due to lack of formation of urine. But there should not be much pain in when there is no formation of urine, etc. Particularly in cases of kidney failure, when the patient is on dialysis for more than 5 years or so, there is no formation of urine at all. And it might be initially getting reduced even to 100 ml, 50 ml per day, and then eventually it stops. The formation itself stops. This is again a big blow for us because according to conventional medicine, the kidneys have stopped functioning completely. The whole function is taken over by dialysis unit, or for that matter, if kidney transplant is being done. But otherwise, the formation of urine is hampered totally, and so there is no formation of urine at all. And these patients are seen. With our medication, the first thing that needs to happen is formation, regeneration of urine by the kidneys, whatever function they have left with or something like that. So this proves the fact that the kidneys do produce mutra and that trickles down through ureter and reaches bladder and is thrown out. And when the function of kidney is hampered, there is no formation of the urine. So this gives pushti to conventional view of formation of urine in kidneys. Well, when we start treating these cases, generally these are very few cases which come to us after 5 years, 10 years of dialysis. And the success is just better quality of life. It becomes a yapya avastha, so to say. And we have to deal with the pandutva, which is very common in these cases because there is blood loss in hemodialysis. If the patient is on peritoneal dialysis, then there are better chances, but very few cases are on peritoneal dialysis. Most of them go for hemodialysis as such. And then this mutraghata, as you are saying, there is no formation of urine as such. Kandekshur mutra jandanana. So there is agresangraha kandekshur mutra jandanana. It means this urea is mutrakrucha and anuria is mutraghata. In mutraghata I am saying two things. One, there might be obstruction and there is mutra sangha. It is more of a mutra jathara kind of thing. The bladder is distended and there is accumulation of urine. And this generally would get relieved with catheterization. In few cases which have come to me as an emergency, may it be like showing udara or some Jatharagni avastha kind of thing, may it be some cancer obstructing the urine, particularly prostate cancer, and might be some other cancers, uterine cancer, for example. There was one case in which it was original breast cancer, and after 5 years there was a spread in liver, lung, uterus, and ovaries. Her age was 72, and this was around 1982 when I just got married, and we were leaving for honeymoon, and at that time this case came in the clinic just before 2 days. So I asked her to switch over to milk diet and give medicines, and say I will return after 15 days, then we'll see again. So I was under pressure what would happen with this case. But fortunately enough, she shifted on total milk diet. She was consuming 1.5 liters milk, and there were no symptoms. She had breathlessness that got reduced, and the pleural effusion got reduced, and there was no pain. And she was maintained for about 1.5 years. And she was a widow lady, and lost her husband quite in young age. So her husband's brother was a military man. She was staying with him and his son, nephew, and granddaughters, grandsons, etc., etc. He neither believed me, nor believed Ayurveda. They were. And I was examining, and I was saying she is better, and he did not do anything. She will just continue with the medicines. He was emphasizing on having X-ray done once again, because there was pleural effusion initially. We had used Gandha Virula. And that symptom of this dyspnea had disappeared. She was quite okay. Ultimately, one fine day he came and he said, whatever you say, I want to get the X-ray done. I said, if you want, you can do it, but this is not in favor of the patient, because X-ray exposure to X-ray also enhances cancer. That is why I'm prohibiting X-ray. But if you are not satisfied with my clinical diagnosis, you may go for that, but that will add suffering to the patient. Ultimately, he got it done. And surprisingly, to his surprise, the radiologist said that this is remarkable, and we never get results like this in cases like this. So I want to meet that person who is treating her. So he came to my clinic and said, she says that she is improving, and he wants to meet you. He wants to know who is treating this fellow. He is my Vaini or something. So then I met Dr. Tapasvi on this imaging center, Lakshmi Road. And then we had good contacts. Later, he was really astonished. He said, he showed me the two films, difference between the two films, and how the water has organized and how the pleural effusion has got reduced. And he said, this is remarkable recovery as per his science or something like that. But anyway, this lady, after about 1 year, went into complications, and every morning I used to get a phone call about breathlessness, about pain, everything or something like that. So she complained of Mutrasanga one day and severe pain. And then I visited and I found that the bladder was full. She was unable to pass in urine. This was due to the pressure of the uterus. And then for the first time I used Ksara, Yavakshara with ghee, and that relieved her. So again she was better. She lived around 6 months thereafter. So in all she lived 1.5 years after this thing. But in such cases, one has to deal with either you have to go for this, or the next option was to put a catheter and try to take the urine out. In few cases, I have also done this, and that's a temporary relief. So मूत्राघाताचे सिद्धिस्थानात प्रकार बस्ती कुंडल, वातकुंडल एटसेट्रा सांगितले आहेत. त्याचे निदान होते का CRF मध्ये? Well, I am not aware, but generally in CRF there is no pain. Even though the formation of urine is very less, or might be no formation of urine, but still there is no symptoms like Mutra Krucha, there is no Mutra Sanga, etc. And there is no. In prostate, we can see the post-void urine, how much it is, and if it is more, it may have associated pain, may not have associated. That is also possible. So therein we have to treat the prostate and see that it gets reduced, and then we have better results in prostate or that kind of mutraghata as such. Kandekshu mutra jananana अन्नपाचनामध्ये द्रवकिट्ट अधिक उत्पन्न होऊन मूत्र अधिक उत्पन्न होणे असे असावे. उपशया उसापासूनच केलेला गुळ अधिक पुरुष उत्पन्न करतो. किडनी फेल्युअर मध्ये किडनीमध्ये स्त्रोतरोध असल्यामुळे द्रवकिट्ट पुढे बस्तीपर्यंत पोहोचू शकत नाही. असा मध्यम मार्ग काढू शकतो का? Well, these are two different issues. When we say Kandekshu Mutra Jananana, that is Agresangara, I tried to use Kandekshu particularly in kidney failure patients. And there are problems because very few people produce organic sugarcane. I know a few now. And we have to get Ikshumula from them. That is one condition. Then what to do with that Ikshumula? We need to prepare some medicine. One simple thing is make a decoction, but instead of that, it's better to make a kalpa. Or maybe Trunapunchamula and Ikshumula together, we can create a kalpa. That's a better choice to do, because then it has more shelf life, etc. Even then, what should be the action of this? So, does this action originate from Pakvashaya, or it can also originate from kidney, according to conventional medicine? The basic issue is Sarr vibhajan also happens in Pakvashaya. And for us, the formation of urine is from the kitta, drava kitta, or something like that. and it directly reaches Basti. Anyway, in patients which have hampered kidney function, and we use this strategy to emphasize on Sarakakta vibhajan at Mahasrotas in Mahasrotas, and able to produce mutra that is thrown out. We don't know whether it directly reaches Basti or whether it goes through kidney and reaches Basti or something like that. But might be possible that in advanced cases of CKD, when the patient is on dialysis for more than 5 years and there is no formation of urine, and with our medication there is formation of urine, then whether the kidney has started functioning or the Sarakakta vibhajan in Pakvashaya has started functioning, that will be a controversial issue. We may have a renal scan to understand whether the kidney has started functioning. That is a technological advantage today. And if we are able to show that, then there can be an integrated approach. If there will be formation of urine, but the kidneys are not functioning or something like that, then that supports our view of But anyway, we are interested in results. I had said about a case long back, renal cell carcinoma, and the whole kidney was replaced by a big tumor, cancer tumor. What is Ichthymulus, sir? It is lower part or part below ground. Part below ground. That should be. It should have branches and sub branches of moola. And they wanted to opened and found that it is already spread, and the surgeon decided not to do anything and close that off. He was on my medicine for 3 years, and he was on total milk diet, 3 liters a day, and he was doing fine. We were doing sonography every 6 months, and after around 3 years, the sonography showed hydronephrosis. So I was really very happy because the tumor was also obstructing the ureter just below the kidney. But when it is hydronephrosis, then it is evident that the formation of urine has started. That means the kidney has started functioning, and this is a marvelous thing because the kidney had stopped functioning. It was nothing but only tumor, and there was no hydronephrosis till 2.5 years, and after 2.5 and between 3, there was formation of this urine. Unfortunately, the patient took it in a very different way. He felt that the cancer has become activated, and he was in depression, and we couldn't save the patient. We couldn't remove his doubt and his depression. That's a miserable part. But this should have been a rewarding case and worth noting at international level. But it so happened that the kidney started functioning once again. I emphasized on this. With Ayurvedic medicine, the kidney started functioning, and this is a great achievement. So our medicines may not just only act at Pakvashaya, but may also act at kidney. That is possible. Now the major issue is where do we emphasize or something? Now, there is one scientist, Satish Rao, in IIM, recently joined, and he was fascinated with my results of kidney failure in Bangalore. So 179 cases we have of CKD. So we have a cross section now and putting every case in a format. He has elaborated the format in the way in which we use it here. And now onwards, every patient will be entered into that format. And we'll also have time to time investigations. So, whether it is the Pakvashaya that improves, the function of Pakvashaya that improves, or whether it is at Dhatu level, the kidney function improves, we should be able to see the results in the form of lowering of creatinine, urea, potassium, etc. And maintenance of health and well-being of the patient, etc. etc. He said, I have been seeing patients in US, they gradually launch into failure and they have to go for dialysis or kidney transplant. There is no other way. And conventional medicine just keeps on observing that they launch into kidney failure and they start with dialysis. That's the story. And there are casualties and people die, etc. etc. He was surprised to note there was no casualty in my patients. No patient died in this span of 10 years. So he said this is also a remarkable thing that there is no death of 179 patients. Now, when a third person looks into this like that, then we really understand the importance of Ayurveda and importance of the treatment of Ayurveda. Now, in integrated approach, one may try to emphasize on Pakvashaya Gatas Tatarnadya Mutra Vahastuyaha, either on this or what I was trying to explain, that conventional medicine is looking for the kidney functioning. They have renal scans and many technological advances for that. But they don't look at the blood that comes to kidney and the formation of blood, how it takes place. If your raw material itself is not good, then whatever you try to put through machinery, creation of a product, that's not going to be good. It's a simple logic. He said, yes, now allopathy also thinks like that. So they are trying to find out these nanoparticles, exosomes, from urine and feces. And these are excretory products. And everything is linked with that. So conventional medicine is coming back to the process of digestion. Examining excretory products for their quality shows you whether the products are good or not. Then the main product is good or not. And if that is not good, the excretory product is not good, then this product is also not good. And then the formation of the blood is not good. That reaches kidney. Kidney might not be hampered, but if it is getting raw material like this, what it can do. Now, this was a question raised by me about our Gurukul as well. What is our objective? Are we there to catch those students which are more intelligent, which are going to Vaidyas, have in their minds to practice Ayurveda in future? Or we want to have raw children, raw students who have not decided, who don't know Ayurveda at all, so I have not gone to any Vaidyas and take efforts on that. So it's like reputed schools, they accept only cream students. They don't want to have ordinary student. and make efforts for them. So ours is an expert job. we have we are supposed to have dedicated team of teachers who are practitioners basically, who can read original text, read original commentary, understand the text, and then work for students who are good enough, who have a desire to practice Ayurveda, and then their effort will be more effective. But if we start from raw students, first thing is to convert them to Ayurvedic studies, for Ayurvedic studies. Create interest for Ayurvedic studies. And then show way of textual reading and commentaries and understanding the text and putting it into practice or something like that. It takes 2 steps. It requires two steps. So one way it was decided to take some efforts before they come to Gurukul. This was done last year, and we had Sanskrit workshops, how to read text, how to read commentaries, how to understand from text and commentaries. This was one thing done. Now this year, to a certain extent, this has been done also. But there will be 2 kinds of students, one who have undergone this training and one who don't have undergone this training. If there are students from outside Pune, from Yavatmal and many other places, Akola, etc., who are coming for this Gurukul for the first time, and they are raw. They don't know any Vaidya. They don't know any Ayurvedic practice as such. So, to work for whom, that is one of the important things. No doubt, there can be good students who are not accustomed or who are not knowing anything about Ayurveda, and when they turn, they will also be good students. I don't deny that fact. But I think these 2 tasks are different and to be dealt with differently. Of course, it is very difficult to identify these students and create interest in them and provoke them for Ayurvedic studies. Those who have already turned towards Ayurveda, already going to Vaidya, already doing some Patantara, etc., are better students for us as such. In the same manner, if we start behaving properly, having proper lifestyle, proper food habits, etc., these cases are more easy to deal with. When we start with improving the digestion, we start with Dhatu Poshana Krama, improving Dhatu Poshana Krama, etc. Then the functionality will improve, and even kidney function will improve, something like that. But when the lifestyle is deranged and it is more junk food, fast food, late night dinners, addictions, etc., there is a gross defect right from the digestive system to Shukra Dhatu, formation of Shukra Dhatu, etc. And this is going to take more time. Initially, there would be improvement in this Arakita vibhajana, the formation of Sarr, the formation of the kitt, the formation of the urine, etc. And later on, this may reach up to kidney, or reach may up to Shukra, or whatever it may be. This is not only associated with CKD. This is associated with cancer as well. This is associated with any other disease. Very fact that conventional medicine has arrived at exosomes from urine and feces, and then exosomes in blood. That is another thing. So now we are heading for examination of exosomes in urine and blood before treatment, and again urine and blood after treatment, after a period of say 6 months, 1 year, or whatever it may be, when we find it fit for examination. And this difference the conventional medicine will understand more easily, not Indians, but Americans or advanced countries, because the concept has arisen in Western countries. Our allopathic doctors are still much behind in technology and other thing advances as compared to Western countries. But they will understand the efficacy of Ayurvedic treatment on the basis of exosomes, and that can be a turning point. So again, it comes back to the process of digestion. The digestion has to improve at Mahasrotas first, and then at the level of Dhatavagnis and Bhutagnis, and there will be a regeneration of body tissues, and the functionality of kidney, so-called kidney, may improve later. And there can be a possibility of improvement in the function of the kidney, which the conventional medicine is emphasizing upon. They are not emphasizing upon the digestion. But if we improve the digestion, there will be improvement at gross level in the formation of urine, and even that will reduce the creatinine, urea, etc. in bloodstream. Basically, albuminuria is the culprit. And still, what I'm observing, there are certain people coming to us as kidney failure, and they are just emphasizing on urine parameters. So 24-hour urine sample for albuminuria, proteinuria. That is their focus, and they constantly show that the kidney function is not improving. The kidney function is not improving. Creatinine at that time might be normal. And it might be just 1.5 or something like that, or 1.58, 1.2 or 2.0. But the albumin in urine is 4 plus. There might be symptoms like shortness or this breathlessness, or might not be. Generally, they are not there, or something like that. Now, this clearly indicates that this is at gross digestive level. If we improve the digestion and improve the salivary division, the dhatu level is still not much affected, because the creatine, urea, potassium in blood are still normal. So from Sarr bhaga, it will be going through those dhatus, etc., etc. The same thing will be applicable even in diabetes. We have urine sugar, or what we say, mutre vidhavanti pipilikacha, or something like that. And sarve madhumehakhya madhuryacha tanorotaha, later on it will be sugar, blood that will be affected by sugar. And for us, mutra varna prabhedena bhedo maheshu kalpate. Beginning is from the mutra, and then it reaches dhatu level, rakta, and then all dhatus or something like that. So when it will start functioning, or it will start reverting, the first thing that will be seen on urine, and later on it might be in blood, later on in the whole body or something like that. So the clay, the may, the abadha mausa, etc., these are at dhatu level. And the mutra is at gross level, last emphasizing on the digestive tract as such. So the Ayurvedic view of digestion is far superior. Conventional medicine had just arrived on this, examining exosomes or something like that. So we have this digestion concept at digestive system, and then later in at dhatu level or Panchamahabhootagni level as such. And what Datar Guruji had been emphasizing on formation of this urine and elimination of that, what he says, Yukta Shodha, examining the area of bladder and starting using Shwa or Harul for that matter. And it takes months for him to get the patient relieved. So gradually from this digestion level we have to reach the dhatu level and there will be improvement of dhatus. So pushyanti to ahar rasat, rasaraktam avsameda, etc. etc. And indriyani dhatu prasada saunyakani, etc. And when the formation of the dhatus will be better, the generation of avayavas is from those Sarr of that dhatus. Kapha-shonitamasanam sarat jibha prajayate, something like that. So there should be good production of kapha and rakta and mausa or something like that. Then the formation of tongue will improve. So anyway, it's a long journey and it is associated with Satmya concept. So Shuddha Shonita, as what Jarkacharya is emphasizing. Deshakaloka Satmyanam Vidyate Samprakasha. So one of the important reasons for today's scenario is getting away from traditions. This is a root cause. That's a root cause for even infertility. So without asatmya there is no infertility. That is what Jarkacharya says. So this is also a very strange point to be emphasized. So leaving away our traditional diet is the main culprit. Now we can make today's diet as Okasatmya or something like that over a period. But whether that will be producing Shuddha Shonita or not, that's another big question. And in the formation of dhatus, the role of Shukra is most important, and that is hampered with this hybridization process, chemical pesticides and fertilizers. So getting back to natural farming is the solution for any kind of disease, truly speaking. Still, when there was natural farming, still there were varieties of diseases, but not really at dhatu level or organ level or something like that. Cancer, there were diseases like Vatarakta, there were diseases like Kushtha, Prameha, even at dhatu level. But the formation of that was not that much hampered. Many things could be tackled with Panchakarma, taking care of doshas, and then improving the Dhatu Parishoshana Krama and having improvement in diseases. Now it's a dangerous situation that the digestion is hampered to such a level, or the food habits have so much changed that it is rather difficult for us to get back to traditional diet and improve or make our dhatus as they were before 50 years or something like that. Then the society will be freed from today's diseases. Still, the previous diseases may prevail, and those who don't want to observe dietary rules, something like that, they will fall prey to diseases. But there was a big group in the society who was doing well without any medicine, used to live healthy, long life. And we still have Dadajis and Nanajis in this generation also who have sticked up to traditional diet and still managing good health even at 80s, 90s or something like that. Those are very rare cases. But ultimately it is the Agni. It is the conversion. And whenever we think of the raw material, the processing unit like Agni, the Srotas, etc., etc., and try to understand the changes that have occurred from gross level to subtle level, might be this exosomes, etc., etc. Understanding it properly and then implementing proper ways. So now I emphasize not only organic food but zero budget natural farming. One should go for that food only. And still it's going to take 40-50 years to revert the condition, even when we switch over to natural food. So still the whole generation may get victimized. Might be the severity will be less if one is shifted to organic diet or natural food. Even then, there will be still hanging sports, but the severity may get reduced or something like that. So anyway, as when we start thinking how to integrate the things, etc., etc., we may not be able to deny whatever the conventional medicine has put in terms of facts on the basis of technology today. At the same time, we should admire the Ayurvedic approach, whether it's Pakvashaya Gatastata Nadyamudravas Yaha or something like that. And how the things have changed and how do we restore the balance. So anyway, this is going to be a very tough task as such. But it's my appeal to Vaidyas and their families to get back to natural farming. Those who can afford, those who have farms, they should start with natural farming and start using natural products, and then gradually we'll educate the society as such. Anyway, we conclude today and continue tomorrow. आयुर्वेदः प्रकाण्डो निगदितैः शल्यतन्त्रप्रधानः शिष्येभ्यः शाश्वतोऽयं निखिलजनकृपा व्याप्तचित्तेन येन आयुर्वेदस्य वाञ्छन् पुनरपि भुवने तां च सुष्ठु प्रतिष्ठां श्रेष्ठं धन्वन्तरिं तं प्रणमति च सदा वैद्यवर्गो हि नूनं विरम्य